What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Tretch in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Greg Gray, Dope Living TV live. Looky here. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Having said that, man, we got a great show coming up for you tonight. So there's a lot of talk about how the police aren't doing their jobs. They're not protecting us. Then there's on the other side, they're saying, give them a break. Look, with all the crime that's going on, they're overwhelmed, they're underpaid. Can we trust that when we call the police are going to be there for us? Do you feel that they are actually here to do what they say they're here to do, serve and protect? Man, look, it's going to be a good show. You want to join us today, man? Give us a call. 865-304-9588. You can get in on the conversation, okay? Let me say hello to my sister. What's going on, Gina?
Hey. Looking good today.
Oh, man, it's been a day. It's been a day. But we're here. We're here to do it, okay?
That's right.
And we want to make sure that we try to answer those questions, all right? Can we trust that the police are here to protect and serve?
Good question.
Good question.
Yes.
What's up, Kim Thomas? How you doing? All right.
Hi, Kim.
Chicago Dishing Divas. Hey, look, before we get started, man, I wanted to throw a shout out to Amina. Amina, she's a faithful listener.
Hey, Mina.
She's got an announcement. And that announcement, hold on, I got it here somewhere. I'm going to read this real quick, okay? It says, dear family and friends, the wait is over. Amina's Beauty College will be opening this summer, fall 2022. Within this letter, you will find a link where I've composed a list of items I'd love for you to purchase to give back and support our future beauty professionals. Our help is appreciated, and we look forward to servicing you in the near future. So I'm going to post that post on my page. Gina, hopefully you'll do it on your page, and everybody else do it on their page.
Absolutely.
And there's little items that she's asking people to get, little small items. They don't cost that much. Let's support Amina. Amina, we love you. We support you. Another entrepreneur, her out there, man. Entrepreneur, her. Yes, sir. Everybody say what's up to Marcella.
Hi. Yes, Amina, I will definitely be supporting you as well.
Hey, Marcy.
Hey, Gina. Hey, Greg.
Tina says, do we call in on Teams? Tina, just call that number. And we're going.
But you are part of the team, Tina.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
What she said.
Yeah. Yeah, Tina, you part of the team. Tina's a faithful listener on YouTube. Appreciate you.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
All right, so something's going on at the crib, right? And it's getting a little dangerous. So you say, if you don't stop, I'm gonna call the police. So they don't stop, and you call the police. 30 minutes go by. Hour go by. Hour and a half go by. Then they come 2 hours later. What's the problem? What do you mean? What's the problem? You know what the problem is. What do you mean? What the problem is? Caller, who we got? We got Tina James on here with us, y'all.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Awesome.
So Tina wants to get in on the conversation. Thank you for calling, Tina.
Thank you for allowing me to come and participate.
We've seen you a bunch of times on here, so it's good to hear your voice. Okay, where you calling?
I'm calling from Georgia.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh, nice and warm.
Yes, sir. Everybody say what's up to Kevin McLemore.
Hey,
Kevin.
K-Mac.
There he go.
Hey,
Kevin.
K-Mac.
Hola. Maybe not.
But
Got
yeah,
it.
so we're talking about we're going to be talking about we're talking about police, and do we have the trust that they are here to serve and protect us? You want to kick it off?
Well, the police supposed to be here to serve and protect us, but the trust part, I don't think so.
You don't trust that they're going to do their job, huh?
Well, it's kind of like the system has kind of messed things up because it's a sticky situation because you have all these laws like we had discussed prior with the gun laws and the ability for people to carry guns that are not, I'm saying, then you have the police officers out there, a small minute amount to serve and protect, but yet they're still afraid. They don't know what they're getting into either. So, but for the most part, we just kind of have a very, very pretty tough situation.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. You know, especially on the part where you're saying that we call them, but I think they have these certain areas that they know are trouble areas, and they may not even go. They may call, but they may not go.
Yeah, you are definitely right.
And that's not fair.
No, it's not fair. I've had called police because someone was breaking into my car, and they the young lady had put me on hold, and she got the police on the line. I never thought that you become a log. So at that time, they take my police report and they give me a number. I have a good day. That was it.
Wow.
So they don't come to the area or at certain times if they don't feel that it's important enough.
Yeah.
Or they come after everything is died down.
Everything has happened, exactly.
The keyword died. Okay.
Yeah, keyword.
That's so ridiculous that you've gone through all of this training and you don't come and do what the side of your car says, serve and protect.
They don't.
That goes to say how some people are talking about changing some policies, whereas police should technically live in the communities that they're serving. And they're saying that possibly they will care a little bit more. Now, I have family and friends in law enforcement, judges, and attorneys. So when I talk, I'm not saying all, but I'm to the point, I don't trust a lot of law enforcement. I hear stories from those that are in law enforcement, those that are judges, those that are attorneys, those that have worked in the prison system. I truly, we need an overhaul. We need an overhaul.
Kevin, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All
So
right.
is it a thing where as we're afraid, they're just as afraid? I guess the more afraid we are, the more afraid they're going to be because of the situation in the areas and things of that nature.
I think that's a true statement, because if you're looking at the news now, even just worldwide, not just here in America, you're starting to get a lot of policemen that are being shot. So I think, it's to the point, you still have people out there that are criminals. They're just doing wrong, just period, on a good day. But then you have some that are just afraid because of how, especially in African American, Latino communities, how they're coming and they're just shooting us willy-nilly. And because, I felt afraid, and is walking and they're able to just go through with saying something that simple. And from what I've been researching, a lot of it, they say, has to do with the police union, which is very, very, very strong.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah,
there's a lot that they know they can get away with.
And they have to get away with it.
and you have to think about, our upbringing, our bringing our children up. We trained. I know I did. I trained my sons how to react when they get pulled over, and I basically told my two sons when they were 16, right when they were starting to drive, you will get pulled over. I didn't say you might. I said you will get pulled over. This is what you do. If you get pulled, when they pull you over, this is how you react. This is, you put your hands where they can be seen, and make sure you don't mouth off. We had to train our sons and our children to know how to deal with being stopped, because they may not make it home.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we are the only culture that, when we celebrate the coming of age at 16, that we have to have that conversation with our children, that the right to drive or privilege to operate an automobile could cost you your life or your freedom. We're the only race that has that.
And the sad part, even when we teach our children that, still some don't make it home, even though you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
You're driving while Black or driving while Latino.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing too. We sometimes, as Black people, we fear the police, and the police are the ones that are doing it to us. We want to call them, but you guys are the ones that are the antagonists as well. So we don't know what to expect. I remember there was the incident where someone had called, and there were two. I think Kevin, you had mentioned this, and Gina as well, some time ago. Two guys fighting, black, white guy, and the black guy got put on the floor. The white guy sat on the bench.
That was in a New Jersey shopping mall.
Yeah, I mean, so someone called the police, of course. Police responded, but now we, as Black people, we have to worry about what their response is actually going to be. We can't say anything. We can't do anything different, because we don't know what kind of day this officer has had. So where's the balance?
And there's a lot of times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, there are times when we have something illegal to happen to us, and it may be minor. You just need to make a report for insurance purposes or whatever, but we refrain from doing so because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So we just take the loss. I know when my car was broken into, someone broke out the window, and I didn't call the police. I just took the loss because I don't want the police to come to my home. I don't know what direction it's gonna go in. So I just took the loss from it. And we shouldn't have to deal with situations like that. We should be able to call the police and feel confident that they're coming to take a report or whatever it is that they're supposed to do.
And you see also in the news a lot lately how someone calls for a policeman to come to help them. And you might have a Black person, you might have some others of other persuasions. And the Black person, African American, is the one who called the police for help.
Right.
When the police come, I know an instance of some family members that happened, and a manager in the restaurant telling the police, "Oh, it wasn't these two young Black guys; it was those white girls over there that are skunky drunk, wreaking havoc while the police are there." While the police are there, seeing how drunk they are, how crazy they're acting, and the two young Black guys who were just sitting down for a meal were the ones that were arrested. And I was there with one of them to bail them out of jail. And I remember the prosecutor called him to the back before he went up for the judge. And she kept saying, well, you know, if you just go ahead and plead guilty, you'll just have to go for the weekend. The young man said, I'm going to the military. She opened up a folder. Oh, the policeman that arrested you, he's in the military too. And I'm like, that wouldn't even be in a record. And when they got up before, and this young man said, I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything. I'm not going to say I'm guilty. And I'm going to fight this. And when he got in front of the judge, the prosecutor said, oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we have nothing against him. And they said, okay, you can go. But the trauma of having to spend the night in the jail, being handcuffed, you know, for no reason, that happens more times than not. You know?
And I would have to agree with you. I mean, me personally, it's not the conversation of fearing the police, is I don't trust them. Because, you know, I have friends in my community that are on the police force, but they're different when they're together as the police force. I mean, when my son turned 16 years old, he was not 16 for 24 hours, and he made a stupid decision to take his brother's car and to go joyriding. And when we had to go pick him up at the township building, they had him, a 16-year-old, newly 16, in cells with criminals. And, you know, the first thing, because I was pissed off at my son, but when I saw the way that they had treated him, had him handcuffed, I'm going, he's only 16. Joyriding a car. It's not like he shot up a bank or anything like that. And I asked the officer, didn't you ever take your parents' car joyriding because you thought you were grown at one point? He said he didn't deserve this type of treatment. I said, yeah, scare him, but, you know, don't put him in a cell with criminals. They could have hurt him.
Yes, exactly.
And his response was, it's a different time now. And I'm going, no, my son lives in a privileged neighborhood and he just happens to be a black kid. And this is your way of setting a precedence by using him as an example.
And it was something you said, Kevin, is so true. You know, I have a friend that's he's retired. He's a retired Gary police officer. And when he started on the force, he was on the force for over 30 years. He started on the force coming in, you know, like he's going to save the world. He's just going to make a big difference. And as years went by, that changed. And he told me, he said it changed because you get blackballed. You're not going to come in there with a cape on because that's not the agenda. And so he had to change his mindset and his goals of what he was trying to do because it didn't match what everyone else was trying to do.
So are you saying they become desensitized to pretty much humanity, like, and people? Is that
they become desensitized to doing that, serving and protect?
Yeah, and Marcy, you said it earlier. You know, having police officers in your neighborhood that you know. I mean, sixth grade, I took a pocket knife because I got detention to a teacher's tire. You know, I should have gotten arrested. In this day, I'd have probably still be behind bars for about 7 other things that, you know, they could have added onto it. Those brothers, police officers, took me to my parents. And let me tell you, when my dad got finished with me, I'd rather have been arrested, but I learned. You know, and to fast forward to another story, I had a nephew that was going down the wrong path. He was selling drugs, you know, pot, you know, wanted to be the man or whatever. I flew from New York to Ohio. I just had knee surgery. I took him. Well, we had some words and we had some issues, but I won't tell you the details of it. But Uncle Kevin came out on top, took him down to the police station, talked to the individuals, told them what had happened. I said, look, this is a kid that's worth saving. I need you to do me a favor. They kept him overnight. I picked him up, didn't charge him anything. I picked him up the following day. They said they don't want to see him back here. I told him he had 2 choices. I took him to the university, Central State University, and told him, I said, these are the 2 options I had. Either go in the jail, the funeral home, or get an education. You can't do that today. Because as soon as you tell them that something's wrong, they're going to come up with all these trumped up charges.
But think about it too, though. Think about this though, and we're talking about police. Are we afraid to call them? Are we afraid of them? Period. Are they afraid? And we have Tina James on the call-in line with us. There are, we talk about the negatives of the police a lot because that's what stands out, all right? But how often do we see a police officer that a good police officer, does the fact that the bad ones that are out there overshadow the fact that there are some good ones? The answer to that, Darian Collins says, white neighborhoods believe strongly in community policing. Unfortunately, our community has gotten away from it because so many of our police don't look like us and don't live locally. Tina, I want you to comment on that.
Well, I mean, my thing is, I know this kind of swaying away from your question a little bit. My concern is that, because this is something that happened in my family, what is overkill? I mean, it's just, people are afraid to call police officers, even for your family having my cousin had a mental breakdown. And so he was going through this rampant, and his mom called the police to have them to come to try to calm him down because he was thinking of suicide. He wasn't thinking of hurting anyone. He was thinking of harming himself. He was shot 72 times. He could not have a open funeral. He had nothing left. Everything was just totally, he was just mauled. So it's like, you're kind of in a hard place because you don't know if they're there really to protect them, and if they're qualified to even assist people with these type of problems. And it's really scary.
Tina, I understand exactly what you're saying. I went through that with my son. It's called a wellness check. And my son was shot 9 times. And yes, he was murdered by police. And that is one thing that we need all throughout our entire country. Mental health training and teams on every police force that are specifically trained on all shifts of how to deal with someone with a mental illness and deal with people that have non-violent issues going on. And that's a problem. And because right now it seems that the only alternative for them is to shoot. And like I was told, when they're told to shoot, it's your heart, your lungs, it's in your chest, and it's to maim and kill. Had my son lived, his spine was shattered, heart, lungs, and all that. And
Jeff Rutherford's life coach is there. I know you don't have a lot of time. Jeff, you want to chime in real quick?
Hey, just real quick, I just want to say that I feel what y'all saying about the the mental health training that cops need to get and everything, because I did watch a video and the police responded to a call. They said somebody had a gun in the area, on a specific area, and what they did was they stopped these 2 black men. They were just chilling. One was chilling outside of his car and whatnot, and the other one was actually disabled. And that cop actually kicked the guy's head and the disabled guy's head and everything, pinned him down to the ground. And then when it was all said and done, they didn't even have no gun in the area. And then that white cop was sitting up here trying to lie and say that, oh, we don't give out cards or anything like that without information on it. And the black officer quickly shut that down. I was like, yes, we do give cards, gave him the cards. And I also wrote down that white officer's badge number, who was lying, and his name and everything, who he was connected to. So it's a dirty game out here, man. And I kind of wonder how it would have been, or what would have been more the outcome if that black officer would not been there to give that other brother the proper information that he needed so he can do a report on that cop. And that cop did get fired. Cop got fired.
Darian says, I'm for law and order. Done the correct way. I'll call the police in a minute, but never on a family member. That's a question too. Would you call on your family member, even if you know that they're bad? And she also says she's sorry about what happened to your family members, Tina and myself.
And I concur. And that's one thing that you've got to realize. There are a lot of good cops out there that's serving, protecting, but there's a lot of cops out there that have their own definition of who they're serving and who they're protecting. I mean, here in Philadelphia, we have a first Black female um, uh, chief of police, and I will tell you, not only do our people hold her to a higher standard than the previous, the people that put her in that position holds her to a higher standard. I mean, she can't get away with anything. So there's a lot of pressure on this young lady trying to do good and change a system that is corrupt. But it's hard to change a system when the system is more corrupt than the person is trying to change the system.
Yeah.
And I think that's go ahead.
You were saying something, Tina?
I agree. And what's another scary factor is that I work for and the scary fact is that we have a lack of police officers. And with that lack of police officers, you can actually just bet that's a very poor selection. So you're caught in a cart. You're caught in a situation where you need the power, you need the bodies, but then what do you have? What choices you have? Yeah. So.
And I think the police department and probably in most of the states are in the same way, in the same situations as our educators. They're not getting the best people in those positions in order to serve and protect and educate. And I think there needs to be a system in place to attract a higher quality of a human being. And that's one thing: a police officer needs to be a better human being and not a gunfighter. We see it constantly even within the shootings. You ask yourself, when a Black man does something wrong, why does he end up in a box? When a white man does the same thing, he ends up in the back of a patrol car with a cup of coffee
And a burger. I mean,
and snacks.
Exactly, Kevin. Exactly.
That's the narrative that's out there, though, and it may not be the 100% true narrative, but that's
in
all
every case.
That's all we see.
Yep.
All the time. It's this. If there's a difference of well, I'd say the races are different involved in this altercation. We're like the guy that was walking around that came all the way from Wisconsin or wherever he went to shoot people or to patrol, I guess, and he people and he gets off. Think about it.
Gets off scot free.
Walk past the police.
Matter of fact, they were raised over 6 figures, and it was spearheaded by the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Darian says police will use mental health criteria for white residents, but they don't use those tactics for us. And I wanted to ask a question because Darian did bring it up, and I still want the answer to it. If someone in your family was committing a crime, would you call the police on them? Knowing how the police are now, would you call the police on them, or would you just turn a blind eye to it?
I guess it depends on the crime that's being committed.
Right.
If you coming at me and you trying to kill me, oh yeah, you getting the cops called on you all day.
Yeah.
But
think about this, Jeff. Cops
what's up?
The house, both of y'all there.
Both of you Black.
And that's true. Because they could be guilty. All it takes is for them to see one gun, and they associate that gun with not just the person who got it. They're going to associate it with the 2 people that's around that gun. That is true.
Well,
I do agree.
And I'm going to tell you this. In the Randall Mall in Cleveland, Ohio, there were 2 young men that broke into one of those leather jacket stores and basically grabbed all the jackets. And the 2 cops that went after them barely could run, barely could walk. I caught one of the kids and held him. They put a gun to my head and strapped me to the floor, and I was helping them. And then turned around when someone said, he was trying to help, took a youth, and there were 7 cops beating the crap out of him while he was handcuffed before they put him in the car. They're still in jackets, leather jackets.
Hey,
and
Kevin,
at that time, I wish I had never gotten involved.
Do something like that, Kevin. Put that cape and that uniform on, bro. Maybe he won't pull that gun on you if you see that S on your chest, bro. You know what I mean? Don't wear the tight stuff. We ain't trying to see all that.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's the thing, is that if you listen to the conversation we're having right now, and you're a police officer, you have to realize that I would say a large percentage of every Black person has had at least 2 to 3 negative encounters with a law enforcement officer when they were right. In the right.
That's another twist to this whole thing. Real quick, Darian says it comes down to the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, etc. They're scared. We'll do to them what they've done to us for centuries. I don't know if, and she also says, as long as it's not violent, I'm not calling the police. Speaking on calling the police on fellowship. All right, and that's a good point as well. If they come at us, they're scared we'll do to them what they've done to us. That's why they treat us like that. Okay, but wouldn't that be the difference? If they're scared, don't do it. You know, you can catch a bee with honey or something like that. You know, if they're afraid, they know what's been done to us. Because, like I said, there's some good ones out there. There's police out there that are doing camps and you know, all of this different stuff. All right.
Yeah.
So working in the communities.
We can't lump them in with these bad ones. But the thing is, how do we distinguish them? How do we weed them out?
You know, something that I was told by a policeman is that, you know, you have the good cops, you have the bad cops. And let's say you have two of them together. And so the good cops see something. And I was like, so why don't they just, you know, report their colleague or their partner or whatever? And something that, again, that was told by a policeman is, if you do report it, then you're like, how you say, blackballed or whatever. So then let's say you get into a situation, you might be in a gang infested community or area or something, and you are calling for backup, but you're the one who, I'll say, snitched on your partner. Oh, they're not coming. They're going to take their time, because it's like, go ahead, let them beat that person's tail, because they're snitching, and then they'll learn next time. So they're learning not to, you know, to look the other way, because I might need you tomorrow.
Well, you know,
some people kind of honor with the police officers that they protect their own. And that's sad. It's
well,
really
the answer to Greg's question is, how do we protect ourselves? We need to get rid of justified immunity. You know,
Exactly.
When the law enforcement officers can't pull the fact that I was afraid and I pulled my weapon, whatever, because they're protected under law, get rid of that, hold them accountable, allow their personal assets to be seized in the event that there's a wrongful death or whatever. Trust me, if their insurance rates goes up, just the same way we talked about guns and everything else, they will start making different decisions when they're held accountable. And it will make it easier for law enforcement officers that are trying to serve and protect and honor the badge to be able to speak up and be protected against those that are dealing with a corrupt system.
That's well said, bro.
You know, there's
Real quick, Darian says fear combined with power leads to abuse, and Lanita says we are stuck between being scared of the police and scared of the person or people you're reporting on. Go ahead, Jay.
right.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to add to the conversation is that when we see things happen in the news or locally, we automatically pin the police as wrong. But we have to look at each situation differently, because I've seen protests for the police shooting an individual, and this individual came at the police with a weapon. And people are out there protesting, saying, you know, it was wrong, you shot them, but they came at the police with a weapon. What are they supposed to do?
I agree.
There was one incident where a guy attacked the officer with an axe, and he shot the person. He's coming at him with an axe. So to me, I think we've gotten a little blinded by some of the wrongs, where everything to a lot of us is wrong that the police do, and that's wrong within itself as well.
Because I'm gonna tell you, even with that though,
I guess.
Hold on a second, Tina. Go ahead, real quick. Kevin,
I guess my thing is yes, that's true, but should we shoot to kill? You don't have to shoot to kill. You can shoot to dismantle someone, but not
Yes.
to officially kill. That's
Yes.
my issue. Is there are situations where you don't have to kill. There are body parts that they know exactly where they can shoot you, and you're gone within so many minutes.
Okay, now think about that.
Kill, but they warrant you to shoot to kill.
Think about that on the flip side. Those police officers that are dead, they didn't shoot to kill, but they're dead. They were killed. So we got to look at it on both sides of the coin.
Well, what situation was that though, too, Gina?
What'd you say, Jeff?
I said, what situation was that too, though? Because there are cops do get ambushed, just like people get ambushed. You know, cops do get caught across a line of fire, just as us regular civilians do.
And so I see what you're saying, Gina, because like go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I just believe though we still have to look at the fact that it's still situational. You know what I mean? It's all situational. We can't just say just because it's dead cops. It's what situation were they in? Were they at a point where they could have pulled out a gun? Did they have enough time to pull out the gun? You know what I mean? So we got to look at that side of it as well.
Kevin was trying to make a point. Kevin, what was your point?
No, I was gonna echo what Gina said. Wrong is wrong. If you break the law, you have to suffer the consequences of the law. And in the event that you have to realize that someone in that uniform is someone's brother, father, uncles, and someone's son or daughter. So in the event that someone puts them in harm's way, and it's justified, then we've got to own that. And we're probably the only race that we hold ourselves individually accountable for the sins of our own people because they look like us. And we have to look at the justice system as saying, look, level the playing field to where that it's fair. When you take an Oklahoma bomber and you've got trained snipers that are on him and he's pinned down in a boat and he walks away with just a flesh wound or whatever the case may be, they can pick and choose, like we said earlier, like Tina said earlier, in order to either maim, disable, or slow that person down. But in the event that it's a life-threatening situation, I agree with what police officers have said. They've got a right to go home to their families too.
They do.
Let me
I agree.
hold your thought real quick. Because I want to get as much of these comments in as possible. Darian says exactly in response to what we were saying before. Start what you were talking about, Kevin, and start making police pension funds pay the judgments in civil suits instead of those monies coming from city government coffers. Gina wants to play. I'm reading private chat. Gina wants to. What video do you want to play, Gina, next?
I'm gonna give you guys some information on some data on the killings from police officers.
Handle that business. Go ahead.
Fatal police shootings in 2021 set a new record since the Washington Post began tracking them in 2015, despite the public outcry for police reform. Police shot and killed 1,055 people nationwide last year, up from 1,021 the year before. Andrew Wheeler, a private sector criminologist and data scientist, said that the fact that the number of fatal police shootings last year is within 60 of the average suggests that officers' behavior has not shifted significantly since the Post began collecting data. Last year, more than 400 bills were introduced in state legislatures to address officers' use of force. None of these bills decreased the number of people shot and killed by officers last year. Franklin Zimring, a law professor and criminologist at UC Berkeley, said this: "The good news, things aren't getting an awful lot worse, and the very bad news is that they're not getting better either." End qualified immunity.
In qualified immunity.
Yep.
I was going to speak on that.
Oh, good. It's you had mentioned, by the way, we're speaking on the police, whether it's cool to call the police, not necessarily cool, but are we afraid to call the police when something happens? Are we confident that they are there to serve and protect? We have, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm never looking for it. But anyway, we got Tina James on here with us as well on the phone. Thank you, Tina, for tuning in with us. Carl Ramsey, what's going on, bro? It's good.
You know what she just mentioned about the qualified immunity? That means that's in part protects officers from being held personally liable for using deadly force. And there's also a legal doctrine that's even more dangerous. It's called the clearly established law, which in essence says, even though I can show the judge that what this officer did was wrong and excessive, I have to be able to show that there was another basically identical case to this case that would have to put the officer on notice that what he did or what she did would not be constitutional. So even if there's just a similar case, it has to be almost identical in order for them to really look at that. And again, like I stated, with the police union, they embolden police because it's so strong, and it's like, hey, we're out there to protect and serve. Yes, I do understand they have to make sometimes split second decisions. So I do understand what Gina is saying, and they need to be able to go home as well. But I truly believe policies need to be changed countrywide, not just in this state, not just in that state. We need some type of gun control laws as well to come in here. There's so much that needs to be overhauled. The politicians that are not doing
gun control, things of that nature. It's not going to happen overnight. And yes, we're having a conversation about it now. How many people are talking? You know, we got to continue to, like, we say this every show just about. It's kind of pitiful that we have to say it every show. We have to keep talking about it, you know. Who else is going to step up and take the mantle? We're going to start talking about it continuously.
Believe it or not, we need every content creator, everyone that's taking selfies and everyone that's doing this, for everyone to have a conversation, because when they see the numbers and the conversation, they will start to listen, because what will be silent would now start to roar. And when they start to roar, someone's going to want to silence the noise. And the silence the noise is coming up with solution in order for this not to be a problem anymore.
It has to be.
It's true.
One of the things.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I discovered, though, in Minnesota, they had Minnesota was one of the big advocates for defunding the police. And so along with defunding the police, now they're doing an about face saying, let's refund the police because crime has gotten up so high. So, we talk about, officers, the police department that's not doing things the way they should be done. Let's defund the police. But then who do you call when you have when you do need to call for help? Who do you call?
Exactly.
You call 911.
You know what? I was speaking to a police officer, one of y'all finest, and he was, we had a nice little conversation too. First of all, let me say that there was an incident, I think it happened today, yesterday, something like that, where there was this man who was, I don't know if he's mentally ill or very distraught, and he was going to jump off of a bridge, I guess. Or something. And the police didn't help him. They were there. They didn't help him. He jumped off the bridge or fell off the bridge. He slipped. And they just watched him go down. It wasn't a tall bridge, but they watched him go into the water. And they didn't do anything. He died, all right?
Was the reason why they didn't help, because they could have been pulled in with them.
Yeah, and my thought is, why should I get in there and you chose to jump? You chose to get on the bridge. Why should I get in there and risk my life to save you when that was your choice?
What you were sworn to do. You were sworn to serve and protect, okay?
But I'm not sworn as a police officer. I'm not sworn to die with you.
I get it.
So is that the same thing as a firefighter going into a house?
Serve and protect. Let's go.
Is a cop gonna take a bullet?
Wondering if you should have different layers of police force. You should have different. If you have a special task for talking someone down from some other thing, you should have maybe different layers of police force. People who specialize in certain areas that should be called out on certain things. I mean, it just may be that technical.
And the issue.
Carl says we have caption trending culture. people will ride the bandwagon because it's popular. Once the fever dies, so does the movement.
And
Understood.
I was gonna touch on that. That's what's been happening a lot. When we have these killings of our Black people, you have all these people of all nationalities. They're protesting. They're out there. They're tearing up neighborhoods and things of that nature. Then as soon as it dies down, again, like Carl just said, the whole thing dies down, and it has to be a movement that's constantly pushing
But you want to know
new policies and things of that nature versus just, okay, wait, something happened today, so let's get out here. It cool for 2 or 3 weeks.
You want to know why?
Mm-hmm.
In the 60s, the civil rights movement and boycotting worked. But we, as people of color, the minorities, we have trained the system on how we're going to react. So they're basically saying, this is the cards that they're going to play. We wait until they show their hand. This is how we're going to react. Give them 14 days. They'll go on about their life.
And then also, I think that was Darian who spoke of the different layers. That's kind of like what I was saying, like, as far as mental illness, have special units and teams for that. But what I'm noticing a lot that's happening, like I think someone mentioned it earlier, there's a shortage. I know in Northwest Indiana, there's to a point where there's a lot of crime going on in like one city, like Gary, Indiana, and they're teaming up with other local towns for all of them to come to when things are happening. So it's not just, if it's something in Gary, it's not just the Gary police. Maryville might be out there, Crown Point, Hammond, or something like that. Neighboring towns might be there. But then I've also noticed on internet where they're, because I do have scanners with my Facebook, where they're saying, hey, the police is calling for extra help. And dispatchers saying, oh, we don't have extra police to come. We don't have extra firemen to come. We don't have ambulances to come.
That you don't.
Well,
now, see, I was talking to the. Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead. I'll say mine. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it just seemed like it happened when you look around. When you look at the numbers, people on people actually wanting to become policemen and everything amidst everything that's been happening, it's on a big decline. And the only reason why you look at it being on a big decline is because everything that's going on in the news, yo. It seemed like some of these cops feel like they just can't say anything to you without it being some type of backlash as well. You know? So that's another point to it as well, yo.
Yeah, Lanita says making demands with no real leadership or clear path of understanding and options for change. Now, I was saying, though, I spoke with this police officer, and Marcy, this is somewhat to your point that you were talking about on the other side of it, though. And this police officer was saying that, and I was, when I led into the conversation, I was talking about, man, it's a lot of stuff. You guys, I appreciate you guys out there, but it's a lot of stuff, man, going on out there. I mean, and he was like, yeah, a lot of stuff, man. And, there's sometimes, man, we feel unappreciated, especially from the government, because we're not getting paid enough. And he said, I'm going to tell you, man, because we ain't getting paid enough, we ain't showing up all the time. All right. Because we take our time. This is what he said. And I asked him, I said, well, why would you not show up, though? I mean, this is the job that you chose. OK, if you don't want to do the job, you got to leave. He said, man, it's hard out there. He said, but we got the job. But, they're not paying us any more. They're not paying us what we're worth, he's saying. All right. So how do you evaluate what they're worth? I mean, how can you do that? There's not enough money.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
There's not enough money in the world that could sit up here that you could put on a person's life. Once you take a job, it's like me out here working, yo. It's so many risks that out here that can happen. It's so many different things that can happen. But this is what I signed up for. So I'm not gonna come in here and complain that maybe one day a coil could drop on a brother's head, or maybe one day I can walk in the highway and a Ram tractor can go ahead and back over me and kill me. This is what I signed up for. I have to be safe, just as they have to be safe. So my thing is for them to even say, for them words to fall out of their mouth, and for them to say they not gonna show up because they not getting paid. Hey, I'm sorry, man. You a cop. That's a cop out to me, dog. You better get your ass out there with your weaponry, your gun, your uniform, your badge, and protect these people.
And that can go for teachers as well.
or leave that job and leave it to someone else. You know, you got a lot of people that are coming into the police forces now that are gung ho, like Marcy had said before. They're gung ho. I mean, they want to be. They think they're going to change the world. I think Gina said that. They think they're going to change the outlook. They're going to be super cops, all right? But do they get desensitized, okay, as time goes on? And they're like, you know what? It's
definitely
going on out there. And I got a life now. These guys probably weren't married before when they first got into the force, and now they're married, got families, and their mind starts thinking differently. You know, I would imagine.
Right, and that brings us back to the point where, you know, it becomes very hard to hire the right people, because if you make it too tight, too tough, then it'll be lawless. We won't have anyone that wants to hold those positions.
That purge will come up.
Yeah, and we have to make it clear. Yeah, the only people that really don't want police are the criminals.
And then a lot of them are paying off police at the, you know, to look the other way too.
So
they're doing really well in their business. Illegal business.
We have to admit we do need them, but we need the right police officers. We need the right system.
That's it.
They also need something I saw earlier. They were saying to start a federal government database to track misconduct in police, because you can have, whereas I was looking on something, one of the policemen, in my case, with my son, and during depositions, it was like, oh, nothing ever happened. And then I just, in doing research, found out this wasn't, you know, not a killing, murder, but there were some other things going on. And, you know, like say, so if there's a federal database showing the history of certain policemen, because a lot of these things are also swept under the rug. So you might have some issues at one, like say you might be in Arizona and you had some issues, and so maybe you resigned before you were fired from the force, and then you move across country, let's say to New York somewhere, and that's not, you know, there's no way of them actually saying, oh, you were real shady back in Arizona.
That's true.
And then be rehired and just start your BS again, just in a different place.
Well, do you guys think that a lot of this is based on race, based on skin color, based on the community that the cops are in?
I think so. Not all of it.
Some of it.
But some of it.
But you have to look at the history. The reason why we have police was they created a system to incarcerate us faster. That's the reason why we had police.
That's true.
And when you start looking at how, just how the whole system is, the thing is, if they do a national database, you know, they're going to have to try to put some type of law in place, you know, to try to govern that. If it's federal, if it's going to be on that type of level, they're going to have to start up at the top and put some type of laws in place. And to be honest with you, I don't see that happening for a long time.
Probably not ever.
That's just me being honest.
Well, and it's the same thing that, you know, Kevin and I were just saying. Again, we can keep this conversation going, and the conversation needs to keep going. But how many people are going to do it? Kevin just challenged everybody out there that has a podcast, that has a webinar, that has all of this. Okay, talk about it once a week. All right, at least get it out there so that people can, the people who need to hear it, those in office, can truly understand we do care about this. This is something that's important to us, because if we talk about it and leave it, they don't, you know, they have their own agenda. You know, we have to put that into their agenda.
Exactly.
Well, let's hear another video based on racism in the police force.
Gina, let's hear another video based on racism in the police force.
I think we should play.
Tonight, 3 Wilmington, North Carolina police officers have been fired after a routine audit of a patrol car camera uncovered what authorities describe as extremely racist comments toward African Americans. Here's CBS's Jeff Pegues.
An internal probe by the Wilmington Police Department reveals hate-filled conversations with 3 veteran officers. Officer Kevin Piner is heard telling Corporal Jesse Moore that the protest would soon lead to a civil war and that he is ready. He goes on to tell Moore that he was going to buy a new assault rifle, and soon we are just going to go out and start slaughtering them expletive N-words. Piner says a civil war is needed to wipe them off the expletive map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations. Later, during a phone call with Piner, Moore refers to a woman he arrested as the N-word and says she needed a bullet in her head right then. Donnie Williams is the department's new police chief. He fired the officers on his first day.
When you talk about killing people and generations of people, that is disturbing.
According to investigators, the officers blame their comments on the stress of today's climate in law enforcement. CBS News has reached out to the police union and the 3 officers for comment. So far, they haven't responded. Jeff Begaze.
Hey, did you all see what it kept popping up? There was motion at your back door. Somebody's breaking into somebody's house.
Well,
motion
apparently it must have been at a black person's house.
Yeah, Carl Rafferty says, depending on where you live, calling the police can be dangerous in some situations. They'll tell you, if you call us, somebody going to jail, victim or assault.
And they're not coming out on the 4th of July. They'll tell you that too. They're not coming out.
Too much popping going on.
There's too much shooting, and they're not coming out. They're not sending any officers out. At all.
So they'll deal with the death the next day, huh?
Yeah,
they scoop them up and put them in a body bag.
Pick up a collection.
That's crazy, man. That is
sad.
So again, where do we go? Because if we take it into our own hands, and that's what it's going to. We take the law into our hands. Somebody breaks in your house, and you cap his ass, okay? And he laying on the floor. You call the police. Hey, man, I just shot this guy. He was in my house. I shot him. I don't know if he's dead or not, but he's in my house. He's still here. They say don't go nowhere. All right.
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail, especially if he's shot in the back. Yeah, you're going to jail.
I took a law class, and my instructor was an attorney, and he said the best thing for you to do, if you shoot someone coming in your house and you shoot them in your house, you're going to go to jail. The best thing for you to do is to pull that person back on the other side, on the outside, so that you don't go to jail.
I need Maurice.
Do you know what a police officer told me?
What did he tell you?
He said the best thing for you to do, Miss James, is a dead man cannot talk.
Oh,
that's exactly what that officer told me.
Well,
cannot.
Ain't lying.
If you shoot in the back, he said the best thing for you to do, if someone tries to break in on you and they make it in, a dead man can't talk. And he said, I'm gonna leave it at that. I was like, wow.
So
I wonder if that's what they're thinking when they're killing our people.
Yes, dead man can't talk, so he can't speak for himself. And it's my word against nothing.
Byron says
that's bad. And he was a white officer too.
Well, believe it or not, if it had not been for the video with George Floyd, they'd have got off.
Exactly.
And even with the comment that Marcy made in the private chat, you know, requiring officers to wear video cameras at all times as events occur. In some cities, that is the law. But what happens? The camera didn't get cut on, or there were difficulties. So they still find ways around that.
Exactly.
Okay. You know, at this time, let's hold on and wait, and let's redirect, regroup, and refocus. Let's hear some words of wisdom from our life coach, Jeff Rutherford.
But he right there.
Yeah, let's hear some words of wisdom.
I ain't about to speak. Cue the video.
Really?
Life coach Jeff Rutherford. Here we go.
Hey, what's going on today, y'all? The word for today is procrastination, okay? Now, with procrastination, you don't want to wait too late to do projects or start specific tasks, because procrastination is defined as waiting for the right time to complete a specific task. But I got to ask you this question. When necessarily is it the right time to do it? You don't want to waste your time waiting. I'm going to repeat that again. You don't want to waste your time waiting. Best advice I can give is, at least if you start something, then you can perfect it as the time goes on. So stop waiting to complete or achieve. Just go ahead and do.
Because guess what? If you go ahead and do, you're able to fine tune as the time goes on. So take that into consideration. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait. Just go ahead and do. Because at the end of the day, if you do, you'll be able to perfect it later on. Life Coach Jeff, redirect, regroup, refocus. Dope Living TV Live. Peace out.
That is
Wow,
good.
Jeff,
All
was
right.
that your twin brother in the background?
All right, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Jeff Relevant, redirect group.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcy.
Procrastination is the first door that opens to mediocrity.
Exactly. That's so true. That is true, sir.
Do you think? Hey, Jeff, Marcella messed you up yesterday, dude. She said refocus, regroup, redirect.
She said a whole lot of stuff.
And she said, "What the hell? Redo something."
Yeah.
It was re. Just re.
Oh man.
Yeah, Pookie
He
even
butchering
called
the
in
name.
and said, "What?"
I ain't gonna lie to Marcy. When he first told me, I messed it all up. All right.
Oh, you used to always mess it up, and I still do. So,
Jeff, is that motivational music? Carl says.
It's supposed to be.
It's a needed moment, Jeff.
Oh, thanks. I try to give a little something when I can.
do you think changes could be made if civilians are allowed to be on the oversight boards and be given investigative and disciplinary powers? Do you think things would change then if civilians were part of that?
I
No?
don't. I reason I say this is because now you're putting a civilian up there, and now they got a whole lot in their head right now.
Okay.
They're against police. You know what I'm
Emotions.
saying? It's like they can't be partial. Got Chris in the back. Chris, I was going to mention it, dude. I definitely was going to mention it, man. But Byron, procrastination is much like masturbation. In the end, you're only screwing yourself.
That one right there.
Everybody says something
Special. Hey.
What's going
Wait,
on?
What's up, Chris?
Let's hear this next video before we move forward because I don't know why I hear echo. Let's play this.
Is this true, white people? You guys don't trust the cops either? And if you don't,
No, I don't. And mostly because I live in Missouri and you can't trust any of them, basically. I've had a handful of interactions with a couple of good people. But also last week when my daughter was assaulted in the park, so some kids could videotape it for no reason, and I had to call police out. The very first thing the cop asked me upon arriving was, "Are they black?" And I refused to speak to that cop and had them call another one. And the next one showed up, and he immediately said, "Is your daughter okay?" And I talked to him. I took the badge number of the other one, called him in, and filed a report, because that's all you can do. And I let everyone I know the name of that officer to not interact with him, because fuck that right the fuck off.
Okay. So I mean, what was this? Hey, y'all know I am reading these private chats. Okay. Jeff said he can't hear none of the videos. He said it ghetto too. He said I can't hear none of the videos. LOL.
Now one.
Okay. So
Nan one is what I
you hear that, Tina?
Nan.
I heard that.
See, if she ain't heard nothing else, she heard your vernacular, dude.
But that goes to show you that this thing is not just a specific race thing. It's all around the board.
But see, that video shows the only way anything is going to happen or to change if we create alliances with people that don't look like us, because they will hear them with us than us standing alone. When you take a white female that basically says, "I'm taking your badge number, I'm writing it down." All right. If you look at the videos when we're taking badge numbers, okay, give me a fucking badge number. You can't do this and whatever. We escalate the situation.
That's true.
She said, "I'm taking a pen and paper and I'm going to write your badge down and fuck the police."
And is that why, Kevin? Is that why? Because of our demeanor? I mean, aren't they trained though? Aren't they trained, man, for everything? Chris, chime in, okay? I'm just saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We need to know the laws too.
They would listen
Yeah.
to that conversation, but when we say it, it's escalated to noise, and they'll drown out the noise.
And I will say this:
Not all
there
the
have
time.
been several videos that I have seen to where, you know, a cop can be coming to you, just saying something to you, but then somebody pissed off because of what they've been seeing. I do have to say this too. A lot of times, our first reaction to that type of approach, it shouldn't just be to react. Actually, try to hear what somebody's saying. You know what I mean? If they ain't coming, if nobody gonna come at me crazy, I don't have no reason to come at them crazy. So if a cop is gonna be respectful to me, I'm gonna be respectful to that cop. Now, if it start getting a little escalated, when we start trying to justify stuff, you know what I mean? We just let the chips fall where they may. But in the beginning, it's no reason to be hostile in the beginning. No reason to be hostile.
Okay. Chris,
Yeah.
ain't said nothing. You shook your head.
Say again.
So you shook your head. I said that.
No, they're not trained. I mean, you know, we always talk about officers doing psych evals, having officers that's from the neighborhood where they're patrolling at, or from the city they're patrolling in, I should say. Most of these officers nowadays are ex-military. And, you know, military, they train you to shoot to kill. It's hard to untrain that. Most of the, and what Marcy said earlier, we have to know the laws too. You know what I'm saying? We can't go to, we can't do the homeboy street law. I just put it that way. We got to actually know the law and know how to navigate our way through being pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Like when an officer pulls you over and asks you, do you know why I stopped you? You don't even have to answer that question. Your answer should be, am I free to go? You shouldn't answer anything else that they say after that. You know what I'm saying? Because the only reason they're stopping you is for the quote unquote hood quota.
Yeah.
The hood quota or
Probable cause.
Yeah, probable cause. That's it. Yeah. Like they're not even supposed to run your license plates when they're behind you. They're not supposed to do that. That's actually against the law.
We just gotta make sure we write all the way so they won't stop.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you know, we don't know the law, man. Like, you remember back in the day, we used to hang those little pine tree air fresheners from our mirror.
And that's illegal.
Nowadays, that's called obstruction of view, of vision. So they can pull you over for that.
And one anyway, he had one of his when he was I noticed that reading there. Anyway, Ron Reed. But anyway,
yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff that we as a culture, man, we get accused for what the bad ones do. And that's them too. You know what I'm saying? The police force as a culture get accused for what the bad ones do. Don't get me wrong, there's some good ones out there. You know what I'm saying? But there's some bad ones out there too. So, I mean, you just have to approach with caution every time you around one. Because you don't know, like Jeff said, you don't know how they're going to come off. They're going to come off rude. And they normally come off rude to most black men. Not saying they don't come out rude to black women, but most of the time they come out rude as to black men is because, like we always say, they're scared of us, bro.
They try to favor They try to women. That's the issue that we have. I think I've actually had that issue.
Okay. comment. Bree said, do that here. She says she just went through that. No help at all. She has a whole situation going on. No police help. Period. So I mean, she feels helpless.
Yeah.
Marcella says, "What's that echo?" Then she puts a question mark up. Marcella, I'm going.
I was, I was pulled over once, and he asked me to step out my car and actually put me at the back of the police car. And I asked, "Why did you stop me? And why am I in the back? Why am I in the back of your police car?"
You're white, go to a black neighborhood.
Exact words were, "If you don't shut up, I'm gonna take you in and arrest you as well."
I've been there. 2 weeks ago, I was pulled over. 2 weeks.
I have a clean record. I've never. But there was one time, a long time ago, and I felt it was so racist. I was in my car. It was right before they started saying we were mandatory. We had to get insurance. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody's riding around with no insurance at the time, too. But when they said it was law, everybody got the insurance. I was on my way to get some insurance. I was going down this hill. I was in Gary at the time, going down this hill, and my brakes went out. So I didn't know what to do. So, I got hood instincts. I said, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to try to drive on somebody's grass, get off, whatever, pull the emergency brake, whatever.
Put it in neutral.
Hit the bottom. I hit the car. All right. And I'm telling you, this was at the time it was a white neighborhood where I hit the car, and there was a white guy in the car. And I'm telling you, everybody stopped and everybody pointed. Everybody was like, I saw everything. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it. And I'm like, well, damn. It's like that. It's like everybody came out. Chairs came out. They was barbecuing, doing all this. I just sat there. I couldn't go anywhere. Okay. They have parade going down the block and everything. He did it. He did it. He did it. It was everybody was out there. So I went to jail. All right. I went to jail. What? Did we freeze?
No, you're talking.
No, you're talking.
Listening to you.
I'll keep talking. I shouldn't say that. I went to jail. But the thing is, I was gonna say I did it anyway, but they were coming down on me. I seriously believe that if I said anything in the negative, I would have got jumped, killed, something like that. The police officer came and he roughhoused me, and I was just sitting there. I wouldn't go anywhere, but he roughhoused me, and it was a white officer, and I think I spent a couple hours in jail.
Okay.
All right. Well, what happened?
I mean, I think that situation has happened to plenty of us. I think we all can tell stories on situations like that. My story was very, very recent. Probably maybe 3 weeks ago, I shared it with you guys. And I'm just riding down Broadway, minding my own business with 2 children in the car. And next thing I know, lights coming on. I'm doing about maybe 25 miles an hour. So I know I'm not speeding. And I get pulled over. Before he even gets up to my window, there's a second car coming with a dog.
Wow.
Why? And when he got to my window, I said, "What's the problem, officer? I know for a fact I'm not speeding." He said, "No, you're not speeding. Your light on your license plate is out." Well, guess what? When I got home, I looked at my light on my license plate. It was not out.
Your type of car.
And I just was like, his whole demeanor changed when he walked to the window and saw me sitting in the car, a baby in a baby seat, and a teenage girl. It wasn't the situation he expected to see.
Again, it was probably your type of car.
And that's why I truly believe it is a lot of it is racially motivated.
But that's being racially profiled.
That's exactly what it is.
How dark is the tint on your window?
It's light enough to see. You can see in my car.
I'm sorry.
It's not. If it was illegal, he probably would have gave me a ticket because he couldn't. He didn't give me a ticket. He just let me go. Like,
but
what was the purpose of it?
Was it during the daytime or at night?
It was at night.
That's why. That's
I
why.
apologize for, but I had a reset. It was something else that was being added to my computer, and it decided to put it on right now. So I apologize.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't know.
How you just gonna jump in the conversation? We're talking.
Because because here's the thing. It's 8:15. We talked about it. Let's continue to have the conversation. But we got something special we want to do tonight. All right, really special.
Okay.
Tonight, so we want to get that out the way. But hey, we appreciate everybody. We got Tina. Tina wants to come on. All right. So after this, Tina, are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you Tina James on Facebook?
I am T. Berry.
T who?
T.
Berry, B-E-R-R-Y.
Oh, you must
No
have
longer James
you
anymore.
must have warrants, huh?
T. Berry. T. Berry.
Got that name change. T. Berry. Can someone show her next time how to get on? Or
Yes.
All right, cool. Look, we're talking about police and whether we trust them or whether we don't trust them. Should we call them or should we not call them? This is a conversation that's going to have to continuously be had because we can't just change it overnight. So let's continue to have that conversation. Look, DopelivenTV, in association with BGHE, Big Game Hunters Entertainment, and the rest of them. Chris, you want to do it?
I'm gonna let you do it.
I do it. I do it. Look, this is.
If you want me to, I do it. I ain't got no problem with doing
tag team on this one, bro.
No stuff.
You know how I always say cuffing season, right? It's October to February, right? Well, cuffing season's over. It's cuddling season now, right? Cuddling season. Marcy.
Okay, then.
It's got. You hear me, Tina?
I hear you.
It's cuddling season, all right?
Why he called my name?
This is what we getting ready to do. You got cuffing season on here.
Yeah, it's cuffing season, bro.
Oh, it's still cuffing season?
But still cuffing season, bro.
But see, in your text, it says cuddling season.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So let me start over. Anyway, cuffing season, right? It continues. It's in June now, all right? So here it is. The first giving away cuffing season tickets starting at official John B for the next 15 days. All right? There's going to be a live performance by John B in Las Vegas. Here are the rules, okay? First, to answer the questions, we're going to pair tickets. The winners are determined by the time answered, and the questions will be up for 2 days. That means the first 7 on both days will win. You can win by commenting, direct message, DM, inbox, or email. We'll put that up. We'll put this up. We'll share this. But it's BGHE Worldwide Podcast Mills at gmail.com. And you have to be 21 years of age or older and live or be going to Las Vegas June the 24th, all right? Because the concert is in June 24th. It's cuffing season. I told you, I'll bring the big girls. Let them come out. Let them get some air. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so, basically, Greg said it all, man. We're not doing a concert. We're just the one that's doing a ticket giveaway. It's BGHC Worldwide Music Podcast, which is myself, Pete Swayze, Bandana Montana, and Haywire the Legend, along with DopelivenTV Network. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all a chance to get away, come on to Vegas, and hear some good music if you're in Vegas during June 24th.
Ella says, real John B?
Nah, the fake. Yes, the real John B. Ella. Yeah. And
let's get him on the show.
I hit him up to see if he'll come on, for sure.
I'll be there.
You gonna be there June 24th?
Yes.
Right,
yes.
Now, we gotta also let you guys know we ain't paying for your flight. All right. Maybe the next time we will, but this time we ain't paying for your flight. But get there. It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be a great time had. Do they get a chance to meet John B?
No.
All right, but you're gonna see him. All right. Ella says, even though it's the real John, she had a question. If it's the real John B, he wants to go. The garage entry.
And one of the opening groups is Garage Entry.
That's how you perform. Ain't that recording with her too, okay? Entry. Tina, you going?
I'm not going to say I'm going to Vegas, but if I win the ticket, I may.
Okay, well, you gotta tune in to win. All right,
I'm tuning in because I want to win those tickets.
You can't win. Marcella, you can't win. Kevin, you can't win.
Why can't I win? I'm gonna be in Vegas on the 24th.
But that's just
you can tag along.
That's giving
well,
back.
Can I just buy a ticket then?
Chris can still buy a ticket. No, Gina, you go and you just get it. You get there. You VIP, man. What? Kevin, you going?
I would like to go. Yep.
You know, we're both going. We got shit to do.
No, we're gonna make it a group. Yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, we're all gonna go.
Oh, go ahead, Tina. She said we all going.
Yes. I'm gonna just throw the black card out.
Tina, get that black card out.
I got mine.
Y'all, did you give me my black card back, y'all?
I'm not giving the black card back now. I'm sorry.
What you say? What you say, Greg?
We're not done painting it. It was a blue card at first. All right, we're gonna color it black for you. All right, make sure you get your shine on with your
Kevin.
Just pray for him.
Okay, so what date is that again? Let me mark my calendar.
Let me tell you what date it is.
June 24th.
June 24th.
We'll run over these rules, okay? Look, it's cuffing season, not cuddling season, as Chris told me. And it's starring John B. It's gonna be a contest for the next 15 days. All right,
it's a Friday.
Pardon?
She asked, I think, what day it was. It's a Friday.
Okay, can I finish?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
How do you win? The first 7 to answer the questions, which we'll tell you about, will win a pair of tickets. A pair of tickets. The winners are determined by the time answered. So if you are the first 7, one of the first 7 to win those to answer, you know, if you waited till 13 o'clock to answer the question and everybody else has already answered, then you shit out of luck. All right. Anyway, the winners are determined by the time answered. The questions will be up for the next 2 days. That means the first 7 on both days will win. So I'm confused. Will it be 14 people or will it be 7? Because it says means the first 7 both. Okay, the first 7 on both days win. All right, cool. You can.
I was gonna let you go ahead and read it again. I knew it to catch up.
I got you. Well, that's a cuddling season, right? Don't stop with me, bro. Come on.
All right, play it myself.
I had it all ready, and then you did cuffing season. I knew cuffing season ended in February. But anyway, you can win by commenting DM or inbox or email BGHE Worldwide Podcast Mills MILZ at gmail.com. You gotta be 21 years or older and live or be in Las Vegas by the 24th, June 24th. Let's have fun, y'all. Ticket giveaway is presented by BGHE Worldwide Music Podcast and DopelivenTV Network, but not the concert. Just the ticket giveaway, not the concert. Let's be clear. Not the concert. Karen Day says, hey, y'all, Karen Day, I need you to do a one-night stand that we're going to put on DopelivenTV Live, all right? One-night stand. We got you. Give me a good 15-minute show, and we're going to put it together. One-night stand. Kevin and I get ready to start working on this acapella show.
Yeah, buddy.
Shows going on. Marcella got some things going on. Gina got some things going on. What you got going on, Tina?
I have some things going on too.
Okay.
Alpha's Adventure.
What's that?
We will have a show for the children. Alpha's Adventure. I also want to say to all of you authors out there to register for the Distinguished Authors Guild. This is an award show that celebrates authors for the hard work that they do. We want you guys to submit your books and register for Distinguished Authors Guild. Follow us on Facebook on Distinguished Authors Guild. Come on, you authors. Let's see what you got out there.
Karen said I should have asked you to promote my events. Karen, give me the information. We do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be at her event. It's on the 19th. I'll be there, Karen.
Where is it at?
What is it?
Hammond, Indiana.
Well, I won't be there. Where? Karen, send me the information. We'll hook it up tomorrow. Since it's gonna rain, since it says it's gonna rain all day tomorrow, so I probably won't be at the White Sox game.
Oh, but don't go to the Railcats.
No, I had tickets to go to the White Sox game, Chicago White Sox. Shout out to you.
Did you buy them or they gave them to you?
Huh?
Did you buy them or they gave them to you?
I was given the tickets.
Oh, that's good. Don't never buy White Sox tickets.
You know, when's the last time you see me buy tickets to anything, really? Except for Jeff's event.
You know what? What are we gonna do with you?
How are we gonna do? Speaking of that, Jeff got another one coming up where you meet the Cure group. All right, we got a lot of stuff we got to promote. Okay, Karen, make sure you send it to me. All right, Tina, I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
I enjoyed myself. Thank you for allowing me to collaborate with you guys.
Yeah, next time you come on and hang out with us. All right, we're gonna close out the show right now. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
For me?
I just want to say that sometimes we have to just we're gonna have to start getting involved in things that involve us, and whatever it takes to get it done, we need to just get it done. And how hard it is, we just need to go through. We matter. Our children matter. Our future matters. That's it.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Chris.
Only thing I want to say is coming soon. BBAT Worldwide Music Podcast. With myself again, D Swayze, AY the Legend, Bandana Montana. Talking everything music. It's gonna be for an hour. I'm trying to decide which day I'm gonna start. It's either gonna be a Friday or a Saturday for sure. Might even be a Sunday, but it's coming soon in the next 3 weeks to a month.
I think on Sunday you should hold off on Sunday and do a wrap-up show on Sunday. Let's get it, Kevin.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, life is short. Life happens in seconds. If you're law-abiding citizens, speak up. Be heard. That's what I'm just going to say. The only way it's going to change is you get involved.
Marcella?
I would like to say, be the change that you would like to see. Get involved. If you see something, say something.
You saw my post today, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
It said, be the
I
change.
didn't see it? Oh, okay.
Do what you just said. You saw my post.
I don't know if I saw it or not.
Gina?
Okay. If
Yeah, I just want to say, everyone, be safe out here. Times are different now. You have to watch over your shoulder when you go to the grocery store, when you go to church, when you go to a funeral, when you go to the theater. You just have to be careful, keep your eyes open, and just like Marcy said, if you see something, say something.
And let's just respect one another, okay? We got to respect the law. We got to respect those that are in those positions to administer the law. Okay, let's just respect each other so we can come home. You know what I mean? Let's not give this flag. Let's not give it. Even if we don't think we're wrong, let's just chill out and let everything else transpire. Let it fall through, okay? Because I want to see everybody go home. I want to see everybody get back to their families. All right. And look, DopelivenTV Network, man, it's a scary time when you're trying to put something together, and it's just you got a piece here, and you got a piece way over here, and another piece way over there, and it's not matching up. Okay, but see, we got a great team of people right here that's going to make everything. It's going to fill in the blanks. All right, that's what we do. That's what DopelivenTV Live, the family here does. All right, so you guys stay tuned. Okay, because Dope Living TV Live is coming. I'm sorry, Dope Living TV Network is coming. Y'all just gonna let me keep saying live, right? Dope Living TV Network is coming. It's basically we're doing this for you guys. We want to entertain you guys, as we always said from the beginning of Dope Living TV Live. We want to educate, we want to inspire you, we want to entertain you, and that's just what Dope Living Network is going to do. Okay, so stay tuned. It's coming. Chris got a show, Kevin got a show, Marcy got a show, Gina got a show, but you have shows as well, all right? And we want to take your shows. We want to make sure that everybody sees your dream, your journey, and what you got to offer, all right? So, having said that, we're going to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again, Tina, for tuning in with us, hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll see your face real soon.
Thank you, Tina.
Will do. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, show. Okay, this is Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?
Good night.